Russ V., the bloated government slayer, unleashed. President Trump meeting with the man in charge of taking on those bureaucracy-crazy swamp critters and slaying them once and for all. Thank you, Democrats, for your epic miscalculation with this shutdown.
Needless to say, the president is giddy, writing on Truth Social in part, quote, "I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They are not stupid people, so maybe this is their way of wanting to quietly and quickly make America great again."
Democrats, not so giddy. They're running all around town, screeching to the high heavens that Republicans and their policies will literally kill people.
There are going to be people who are just going to let their health insurance go. Mm-hmm. There are going to be people who are going to die because of these decisions.
What I'm not going to do is tolerate 4 million uninsured Americans because Donald Trump decided one day that he wants to just make sure that kids are dying because they don't have access to insurance.
Let's be clear, and doesn't make me happy to have to say this. Would you combine doubling premiums for the ACA and then throwing 15 million people off of Medicaid and the ACA? The result is, according to studies at Yale and the University of Pennsylvania, 50,000 low-income, working-class Americans will die every single year.
The only thing that's dying is the deep state and the shallow state to boot. And we say, get gone. And for the record, Bernie and co., since you're putting these Obamacare juiced-up subsidies at the center of this fight, claiming that they save lives, children will die, they claim. Let's look at the U.S. death rate. These taxes, these handouts, this welfare went into effect in 2021. And the death rate in the years following is still dramatically higher than the decades before COVID. Now, this could be a number of factors like fentanyl poisonings under Joe Biden because the border was wide open and nobody in the Democrat Party really seemed to care about fentanyl deaths. But how truly life-saving are these handouts?
Last government bloat slayer Russ Vought can continue his work until at least tomorrow morning, when the Senate will vote again.
Here to discuss, House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. House Majority Whip, it's great to see you, Mr. Emmer. What can you, in terms of what Russ Vought is working on, and as Senator Mike Lee said, he's been thinking about this since puberty, maybe even before that. How many layoffs are potentially on deck? Because I've heard there are at least 800,000 jobs that could be identified.
That's what's so crazy, Dagan, and good to be with you and James. What's so crazy is these Democrats, radical Democrats, led right over the edge by Chuck Schumer, these guys are actually giving the administration all the authority in the world to reshape our government, which I think the president may be right. Maybe this is their way of helping make America great again. But Russ Vought, I don't know what he was thinking about around puberty, but I do know that what he's got to think about right now is he's got to make very difficult decisions based on what is essential, what is non-essential. That's where you're getting all those numbers from. But until he starts to issue those, it's speculation.
Have you heard anything, though?
We heard from Russ Vought yesterday. We had about a half an hour call with him, and then our members went another half hour or so discussing it. He told us that there will be consequences to this shutdown because they can't just sit by and not do anything about it. They're going to have to start moving forward. My understanding is he said it yesterday. He doesn't want to release that stuff yet because we're not there yet. If the Democrats in the Senate are crazy enough to reject the clean CR yet again tomorrow, because they want another $1.5 trillion in spending with this foolish argument that it's somehow about health care when they want to eliminate $50 billion in rural health care, while at the same time funding taxpayer-funded benefits for illegals. It's not about that at all. All this is about is Democrats and Chuck Schumer primarily trying to take a shot at Donald J. Trump and score points with their far left base, and it's not going to work, Dagan.
Yeah, speaking of phony arguments, we just had a clip with AOC and Bernie Sanders presenting this as some kind of threat to the middle class. If you cut off these subsidies, they go up to households in the neighborhood of $600,000. I don't think anyone's dying if a household income with $600,000 doesn't get a subsidy. But the deeper issue here basically is it's a government plan to bribe affluent people to buy Obamacare, because Obamacare is terrible and nobody wants it otherwise, right?
Well, I mean, listen, those people that you're referring to, facts don't matter to them. I mean, when you talk about these subsidies, which are not at issue right now, they don't expire till the end of the year. And it was Democrats who set the expiration date, James. This whole thing about these subsidies, they're subsidies to the insurance companies. So I think you're going to get a whole bunch of information when we get back to negotiating. But we can't negotiate until Chuck Schumer opens the government. When that happens, then we can start having more detailed conversations on what those things do and what they look like and who they really benefit and who they don't benefit.
These are the same people who said that climate change was killing everybody. So that's what you need to remember. Go ahead, James.
Okay, we're moving on. The Trump administration taking steps with Congress to declare a quote, armed conflict, unquote, with drug cartels, officially notifying lawmakers as it takes out what it calls unlawful combatants with strikes on smugglers. Congressman, can you tell us about the authority to do this? I think you probably have a lot of people in this country saying if you're driving a fentanyl boat, you ought to get blown up. But is this the proper use of the military? Is there a legal basis to start blowing these ships out of the water?
Well, James, the issue, as you know, is that under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Democrats, the southern border was left wide open. You had tens of millions coming across that southern border, including the worst of the worst. More importantly, you put the cartels in charge of the border. You put the cartels in charge of sending all kinds of fentanyl across our borders and killing our kids and our citizens. Donald Trump promised on the campaign trail that he was going to seal the southern border. It took him about 2 months to do that. He has absolutely done that. He also promised that he was going to take care of the cartels. Whatever he does, that's exactly what he promised. Another promise made, I would say to you, James, and promise kept.
But there seems to be Republicans and Democrats, Majority Whip, that are pressing the Pentagon for the legal basis for these cartel boat strikes. Why is this a political issue?
To me, it's not. This is about Donald Trump telling the American people, number one goal, number one object, number one responsibility of your government is to keep you safe and your property safe. The cartels they took over under the Biden administration, and Donald Trump promised that he was going to end that when he took office, and that is exactly what he's doing.
House Majority Whip, Tom Emmer. Great to see you, sir. Always.
Thank you, guys.
Be well.